Talking Wilkes University women's soccer here on the John Mendola Show at our Carol and Janelle. Head coach John Sumoski is with us. And John, what a fantastic start. 9-1-2. And boy, a lot of credit goes to these young ladies who have worked hard this year for you. Let's talk about the results that you guys are getting.
Yeah, thanks, John. Great to be here, and appreciate you bringing us in. It's always good to pay tribute to the people that have gotten you where you are today. And I think, I first have to say that the kids that are supporting us from off the field have been tremendous. I mean, these young women have put their heart and soul into the game, into our team, regardless if they're playing or not. And that's step number one for us. And teamwork is one of our core values, and it means a lot to everyone, and it's been great. Aside from that, our young women played over the summer. For the majority of them, played competitively, so they came in game ready. No squandering with the style of play or the formation that we were going to play. We just, from day one, we nailed it, and we haven't looked back, and they've all bought into that.
Right now, Northeastern Pennsylvania, we got some pretty strong soccer here in Division III, which is outstanding. You love the competition, but in particular, you've been at this a while. You got to get the players. You got to go out. You got to recruit. And you hit the road as much as anybody. Talk about getting a fresh group in and just trying to get better year after year.
Yeah, I think in my former years of coaching college, I've been doing it for 20 years. It was all about getting numbers, making it competitive. But what I found was, when you're trying to build a culture, it's all about finding the people that are going to buy into those values and those standards. And we did that, and we nailed it. I mean, we brought in 3 JUCO transfers and 4 freshmen. That's not a big class, and they have done tremendous for us. But we recruited for need. We knew what we were looking for, and we found it, and that's worked out really well for us. We've gotten some kids off of injury, and they've done very well for us, and we're just we're kind of firing on all cylinders right now. But the recruiting process can be very daunting. I felt like I knew what I was looking for again, and we found it, and especially in the back, where we felt like we could use some depth. And fortunately, the 2 young women in the back that have been starting for us since pretty much day one have done such a tremendous job, and it starts from the back.
Over the weekend, Wilkes University honored one of their all-time favorite coaches and staff members, and you talk about women athletics, and of course, Wilkes with Addie Malatesta as athletic director. You go see a women's soccer game, and we can talk about many sports, but you got thighs that are taped up, and hamstrings, and you got some knees, and you got some ankles that are, these young ladies are so darn tough and resilient, and I'm sure you're going through that, as you say, with some challenges with injuries, but just check out a women's athletic program, and you'll see some of that. Talk about these girls persevering.
Well, I'm really big on periodization of physical training, so we're very, very careful with what we do with return to play. We're very careful with what we do on recovery day. We have different groups that train for different purposes the day after a game. Anytime you overload a player to an excessive extent, you expect injuries. And we've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate to have been surrounded by some very influential people in the last 2 years, and have tapped into that knowledge and found out how to coach the best way to gain fitness, but also to regain freshness after a game. And I think sometimes we confuse lack of fitness for a lack of freshness. And right in season, it's all about recovery. It's not about, we're going to run more. I don't feel good, I'm going to run more. Well, no, you don't feel good because you're tired. You need to recover. So it could easily be confused. But I think we've done a very good job. We're very careful. We spend a good solid hour and a half a day going over who needs what. So it's not one size fits all for us. We're very careful, and for each player has a different prescription.
The formulas change, as you mentioned, over the years. You go from static stretching to dynamic stretching to yoga and different things like that in the pool. I mean, the game has changed. Well, you're changing with it, which is what you're saying at Wilkes, and you're seeing some great results this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been pretty much injury free. We haven't, maybe we rest a player because they're a little too sore, but we have the depth to do that, which is nice, and we can get that particular player to regain freshness. Yeah, we're always evolving. I mean, we spent a lot of money on the polar heart rate monitoring system 3 years ago. We used it for 3 years, and I just felt at the time that it was going to work for us. I learned a lot from it, but we decided not to use it this year. And so again, we're evolving based on different scientific studies, different feelings, collaborating with the team, and it's been helpful. I mean, the players know best. I mean, no one's going to try to pull the wool over your eyes and say, hey, I really need a break when they don't need a break. These young women want to win, so they're going to do what's best for them, and I have to trust that. If someone needs a break, I'm not going to say, oh, you need to be training like everyone else. Like, they know their body's best, so we have to listen to that.
Let's talk about the mixture this year, upperclassmen and some of those new members of the team that you mentioned. It's gelling pretty well out there.
Yeah, it's been really good. Honestly, there hasn't been a game that we shouldn't have won. I told them from very early in the season that I think we could, potentially, make the tournament and get a lot of wins this season. But to be honest, with that saying, I'm a winner. I love winning. We focus on it every day in training, but it's not going to consume us to the point where we don't focus on the process. We have some very specific measurables, and we really focus on those measurables, and those are things that we can control in a game and in training. But yeah, the team has gelled. I mean, there's so many components. There's the bench. There's playing over the summer. There's the system of play, which I think we're difficult to play against. There's the competitiveness within the team that we can take one out if she's not playing too well and put someone else in and not miss a beat. So I think it's gelled great from the beginning because we had identified positions for certain players. We really haven't veered off of that road too far, and we've also maintained the system that we're playing, and we haven't changed that.
Fun. Girls seem like they're having a great time tonight, and what they're doing on the field, off the field, those fun type of times. Talk about the fun you're having with them again.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's face it. Nobody wants to come to soccer practice when you have to sleep away from home, eat in a cafeteria. You're away from home. You're tired. You're studying. 5-6 hours a day. Nobody wants to go to training and not have fun. So, yes, it's challenging at times, and I always tell players, prospects, when they're being recruited that I'm going to challenge you. You're going to hate me at times, but I'm going to make you a better player and a better person because of that. You have to deal with some kind of adversity here, and so I'm always going to try to stretch your mental boundaries, your physical boundaries, and you're going to be better because of it. But for the most part, they come to training, they're having fun. I think that says a lot about our culture. We like to have a positive energy about us. When we don't, there's accountability for it. We don't, the players don't just walk off the field and bring negative energy all the time. And we understand they're going to have good and bad days, but for the most part, all this stuff for us is written down. We know how we want to behave, and we hold each other accountable. For that.
The sales this weekend. Let's talk about what you see from them, and always a talented team.
Yeah, DeSales has had another good year. They're dangerous. They have several players up top that can score goals. They've scored a ton of goals this year. Fortunately, we haven't given up a lot of goals, so it should be a good matchup in that regard. But I love the way we're playing right now. We're focusing on what we're doing. We always give a scouting report. We always prepare the day before, and put in some certain things that we need to watch out for. But for the most part, every game I go into, I'm cautious. I'm optimistic, but you never know what's going to happen on any given day. And I've always been, impressed with, at least this, specifically this year, impressed with how our team comes out and moves the ball. They have a style, and they stick to it, and it's been great.
John, great to catch up with you. The best of luck this weekend, and keep that season going, okay?
Yeah, thank you, John.
Elena Denger is joining us from the Wilkes University women's soccer team here on the John Mendola Show. And Elena, you're a senior, so you've seen a little bit of everything at Wilkes, and boy, you're seeing a lot of positives this year with your team. Let's talk about a special season so far.
Absolutely. We've had such a fortunate season this year. It's such a different group of girls than we've had in the past. We have a great team chemistry. We're all there for each other. We support each other on and off the field. And I think that's the main thing that's helped us be so successful. You know, we're playing for each other, with each other. So it's awesome.
Like anything else, sometimes you could have the best chemistry, or you could have a lot of talent, or you could have a mix of both. But as you say, things are just really going well this year. And we'll go back to that chemistry part. Let's talk about why do you think that's happening?
I think it's just because we are such good friends. We're so close. We want to push each other the best that we can. We want to play for each other and make hard tackles for each other. You know, make those sprints into the box for each other. I think that's the end game with our team.
Let's talk about your role. What does Coach expect of you when you're out there on the field?
He expects a lot of pressure, a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. He expects me to be a captain, you know, to lead physically and verbally, telling the team, pushing each other. There's a lot of times where I'll just hear him, like, I honestly always hear him, like, yelling, all right, it's the end line to, you know, just run, essentially is what he's saying. So the expectations are high, and I'm doing my best to reach those. So he definitely pushes us, and he pushes us to our fullest potential.
How often are you cheering for yourself? Because you got a big major, you got a really good grade point average, and you got to get the academics done. But as you say, your experience, you've been through this a few years to understand college life. But talk about times as a student athlete in college. There's some times you probably have to second guess yourself a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I would definitely say that happened a lot last year for me. My junior year was pretty tough academically. There were times where I was spending late nights in the library, coming to class the next morning being like, what am I doing? And like my classmates are saying to me, like, how are you doing this? Because we had such a rigorous academic schedule. It was my first year of pharmacy school, so it was tough. I made it through. You know, I just had to keep thinking, like, this is a sport I love, and at the same time, this is the career that I want to pursue, so I had to do it for both of them.
Once in a while, you got to have a little fun.
Yeah.
And you're able to do it with the ladies pretty often.
Yeah.
So talk about having that little release to say, okay, we could be a little crazy today.
Actually, it happens more often than not than you'd think. I would say the biggest thing is in the locker room. You know, we play music, we have fun. One of our favorite things to do is put on like Pitch Perfect and like sing along to those like songs, as well as like Disney songs, like throwbacks. So I would say we let loose a lot, and then as soon as we get between the lines, it's all business.
Let's talk about your sister, role model of yours, a little bit older. Talk about her path and why she inspires you.
Well, she played Division I soccer at Bucknell, so she was a senior when I was a freshman in college. So going into her senior season and me into my freshman season, I was training in the summer with her, seeing how hard she pushed herself, how much dedication she gave to the sport. It was a great role model to follow after.
Talk about life after Wilkes University. What's the world gonna? Where are you gonna find yourself? I guess.
Well, after soccer is done, I still have 2 more years of pharmacy school. So once that's done, I might do a residency. Hopefully, I'll end up in a hospital doing something with pharmacy, maybe pediatric pharmacy would be ideal. Hopefully, to stay in Pennsylvania around my family.
How about your whole experience with both the soccer team and academically at Wilkes? What's it been like for you?
It's been a roller coaster. You know, like I said earlier, it wasn't easy, I would say, but it really taught me how to time manage. It taught me how to set goals and to stick with them, and it taught me hard work pays off. And as well, soccer was like an escape for me. It was, you know, the 3 hours a day that I had to step away from my studies, have time with my friends, you know, get exercises out of it, and do something that I love.
It sounds like you got it down. We wish you the best the rest of the way. And Elena, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Diana Connor is joining us from the Wilkes University soccer team. And let's talk about what Diana Connor is all about when you're out there on the field.
For me, it's just I've been playing soccer for so long that it's not really anything but fun for me. I've battled with injuries and adversity my whole career. There's never been a season that I haven't battled with it, unfortunately. But coming to Wilkes was probably the best decision I've ever made. Between coaches and my teammates, I'm just happy that I'm still at it.
Senior, forward, you love to score, like to give a good pass, I'm sure, too. And when you're winning, all that stuff feels great.
Yeah.
It's been a real good year.
It has. I'm happy the way that we're going, and I'm hopeful that it doesn't stop right now, and that we can keep continuing to be how we are. And I'm doing pretty well on the field right now and scoring goals and doing my job, so I'm hopeful that I can keep the momentum going.
Coach said he loves what he sees. Every time he sees you girls play, he's just liking what he sees,
Yeah.
and a lot of positive energy. Talk about what he is seeing out there.
Yeah, so I've been here actually 5 years. In sophomore year, I had to redshirt, and this is probably the best year that we've ever been. Seeing it sophomore year from a different perspective and being on the bench and having to cheer the team on, I think this year it's just the chemistry. And he likes what he sees, we like what we see. We're doing a great job, but we can't get complacent right now. It's all about, especially this weekend, we have DeSales, will be a tough game, and then we take on Miz. We're just connecting. Everyone's doing their job. I say it all the time. In order for one person to be working 100%, the next person has to be in the girl after her.
Life's a puzzle. The pieces are there this year. Talk about some pieces that you see that, like, whether it's one extra offensive player doing their job or one defender or the goalie. Tell us what you're seeing.
So for our defense, it's been everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. Neve and Catherine have been a huge add-on for us. They're unstoppable back there. They're rock stars. I tell them after every game. Especially with me and Emma. I played with Emma since I was 5 years old. So actually being on the field with her now is just like, it's fun and it's enjoyable because we know what each other's going to do. But as far as that, everybody's doing what they're supposed to. Courtney's killing it back in goal. But as a whole, we're really just doing it. Everybody's doing their job.
Somehow you got to be a student. That sounds a little disappointing because the sports sound so fun, but talk a little bit about the academic part and sports management for you.
I'm actually a triple major in management, sports management and marketing. So taking everything on, it's really hard and it's difficult. And sometimes it's just you're on the field and you're like, oh my God, I have so much homework to do, but it's so worth it. I tell everybody that's even nervous about it, I tell everyone that's nervous, like, listen, if you want it that bad, you'll be able to kind of categorize and sort out. Your time management is a huge key when you get to college and you're a student athlete, but as the time goes on, you really learn how to cope with it.
I'm sure your family has gotten to hear a lot of you and all the things that you've tackled.
Yeah.
They had to be the rock for you over the years.
Oh yeah, definitely. My brother has been my backbone through it all. He's a physical therapist assistant and he does personal training on the side. He's my role model, my best friend. He serves as a strength and conditioning coach for me during the summer, so he really gets my butt into gear and he helps me battle throughout my injuries. And my parents, it kills them to see me not out there when I do get hurt, but they've been my support system through it all.
When you get done, you want to go to either New Jersey or New York. Talk about that next step for you.
So I graduate in December, so it's sneaking up on me. I want to do something in business, whether it's sports, because my sports management degree. Obviously would love to work for the New York Giants or the New York Yankees. If not, I'm working my way into the business development or business strategy side of it, so working as a team. Obviously, I've done it my whole life, so that's what I want to incorporate when I get into the job fields.
Well, you got it going on. There's no doubt about it, and we wish you the best in health.
Thank you.
And, of course, the best in wealth and those business
thank you.
aspirations as you get older. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nicolette Talent join us from the Wilkes University women's soccer team. And you're a junior and you're a forward, so let's go right to the offense. Who's scoring this year for the Lady Colonels?
Mostly Diana. She's been our target to score this year. But it's a team effort, and we're trying to get everyone on the ball, and it's been good to move the ball around more than we have in the past. So we've had a lot of scoring opportunities, but she's been the one that really puts the ball in the back of the net.
How about Coach Sumoski? Talk about conversations you have with him about what you need to do out there on the field.
Well, he's been telling me that I need to complete passes better, so that's what I've been working on, trying to just like get the ball to people's feet and make sure that we keep the ball on the field.
Talk about the toughness that you have and your teammates have, battling through little dings and injuries in college athletics. Not easy to do.
Yeah, I've had a couple little minor injuries, but I think just us like picking each other up every time really helps us get through our rough patches.
Fun stuff with team bonding. Take us through some of the fun times you have as a group.
Well, during preseason, we go to Coach's house and we have a little pool party, barbecue type thing. We do roller skating and stuff like that with recruits. We go to the movies. We have like our own movie nights in our rooms and stuff like that. We really only hang out with the soccer team, so almost everything we do is together.
Let's talk about the psychology major, where that came from, and what you hope to do with that.
Well, at first I wanted to be a physical therapist, so to do that at Wilkes I had to be a psychology major and go through like neuroscience and stuff like that, but I ended up changing it and I wanted to do sports psychology. So we don't have a major for that either, but I can just do the psychology and I'm going to go to grad school for that and hopefully become a sports psychologist.
Sounds pretty cool. How about your sister?
She is a sophomore this year in high school. She's been struggling a little bit because her club team folded, so I think she really looks up to me and tries to like make me proud of her. So I'm actually going home after this to go watch her game tomorrow.
Ah, that's great to hear. Let's talk about your mom.
She works really hard. She is a server, so everything she does is on her feet, and she just battles through everything just to make ends meet for me and my sister, and that's why I want to make her proud in everything that I do.
Tough lady, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And as far as down the road, you know you got some great goals ahead of you, but let's get back to the soccer field with the rest of this season. DeSales this weekend, Misericordia next week. You can't ever look ahead, but there's some big games. Every game is going to be a little bigger. How excited are you about what's coming forward?
Well, we knew DeSales and Misericordia would be our biggest games this year as far as the MAC goes, so we're really excited to go and tackle those challenges. I think that Misericordia is going to be our most difficult game this year, but I definitely think that we can do it and get the job done.
All right, well, we wish you the very best, and great to catch up with you.
Thank you.
Emma Sabovic joining us from the Wilkes University ladies soccer team, and of course, you're a senior, you're a forward, you're from not too far down the road. Pleasant Valley High School is where you call home, but boy, it's been a really special year. What's working offensively this year for the Colonels?
We're connecting more together. We're communicating better than ever. We have been able to make these different runs where we haven't in the past. We have Diana up there, Diana Connor. We have Nikki Talon. We have just a lot of strength up there and a lot of power propelling us forward into the season.
Remembering all the names is hard enough, right? How about for you? What do you do when you're out there? You're kind of tall, and do you have some speed? Use your body a little bit.
Yeah, I get the ball a lot to my feet. I really like to find people and like find the through balls and whatnot. So everyone on our team basically knows that pass to my feet because I'm really not the fastest on the team. But yeah, just pass to my feet and we'll be fine.
How about your relationship with Coach Sumoski over the years? Talk about learning a little bit more about him and what he expects from you. And he said, some of these players aren't going to like me, but you know what? I'm going to tell them the truth and I'm going to get the best out of them.
Yeah, like knowing your role is really what he preaches. And up to these 3 past years, I haven't been on the field as much, like having a lot of playing time. But this year, really just knowing my role on the field and doing exactly what he wants me to do, and it's just helping the team out a lot better than it has in the past.
You got a pretty nice family here at Wilkes. You got a pretty big family at home too. Let's talk a little bit about your family.
I'm one of 4. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. My parents are from Bosnia, so my mom and dad came from there searching for the American dream and whatnot. So, so that's what it is.
What's it been like kind of learning a little bit from them and seeing them kind of, bring you up and show you what they wanted to show you as far as their life?
Just working hard and talking to people, connecting, making friends, and just learning that family is like super important, and being a family and just being connected and always looking out for each other.
Let's talk about some of the fun that you do have with the ladies and bonding out and how that helps on the field. Usually you see the bonds off the field and on the field, but talk about some of the fun times.
So we're all basically a stone foot pack girls of weirdos, basically. We're all just like a little off, and honestly, but we just love to have fun, and it's all fun and games when we're in the locker room and just out there together, and whether it's like seeing each other like out on campus and whatnot, but once we step on the field, we know that it's like time to be serious and look out for each other and just make each other better.
Who's the best singer in the locker room?
I have to say Elena.
Okay.
Elena Dinger, yeah.
All
Definitely hits those notes.
Finance, your major. Talk about what you like about that.
I want to go into banking, so I really like the whole numbers stuff, and just that whole industry really intrigues me.
Money's got to be good, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs likes it,
That's right.
Misericordia coming up. It's always a great rivalry. You still have the sales, which you're not overlooking by any means, but Misericordia has kind of been the measuring stick here in northeastern Pennsylvania. We're hoping this is a year you can give them a great battle.
Yes, definitely. They are always a tough team, and after beating them last year in penalty kicks, we really just got a lot of confidence from that. But this year being a whole different team and just looking forward to playing our game, and as long as we do that, I think everything else will come.
Well, Emma, great to catch up with you and tell us a little bit about your story, and we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Ashleen Speranza joining us from the Wilkes University Lady Colonels, and you are a junior.
I am.
A couple titles as far as what you do with the team, so tell us what you do.
So first and foremost, I'm the holding midfielder for the ladies, and then also I'm a self-proclaimed assistant to the graduate assistant.
I wanted to make sure we were very clear that a self-proclaimed part came in.
Yes.
That's awesome to hear. How did you get that self-proclaimed title?
One of my friends, Julia Tyler, and we are big Office fans, so we saw Dwight made himself assistant to the regional manager. Why couldn't we make ourselves assistant to the graduate assistant?
That is awesome. That is awesome stuff. Fun is something we can tell we're having right now here.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And when you're on the field, there's fun. When you're off the field, so talk a little bit about how that equates to a lot of success this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I believe that team chemistry is just as important off the field than it is on the field. Like anything we do off the field in regards to bonding, whether it's camping during preseason at Camp Kresge, hosting movie nights with each other, sleepovers, that's all going to build our relationship and have better chemistry on the field overall.
Let's see, you're involved in a few clubs and organizations, even in college. Usually high school you see 4 or 5, 6 things, but you're pretty busy at Wilkes.
Yes. So I'm the vice president of a business chapter called Phi Beta Lambda. I'm also the vice president of marketing for Zebra PR, which is our public relations chapter.
And that's not self-proclaimed, that's real.
That is completely real. I'm also on SAC, which is a sports-oriented board. So we make decisions based on sports legislations and then just events going on at Wilkes. And I've been involved with student government as well. I mean, I could go on.
Well, we have et cetera, so
et cetera. So yes, very involved. But in all honesty, the team comes first for me. And I know I'm big with recruiting and team bonding as well. Just kind of making sure everyone's on the same page. That way we can perform well in practice and games.
You have a big family.
I do.
So let's talk about older, younger. You're somewhere in the middle there.
I am in the middle. I'm 20, but I have an older brother who's 23, and he's in his final year of law school. I have a younger sister who's 17. Her name's Caitlin, and she is a senior in high school. So she's starting to look at colleges for soccer and everything like that, which is really exciting. And then I have a younger brother, Andrew, who is huge in baseball right now. So Yeah, we're a pretty well-rounded family. I'm really glad to be a part of it.
Very nice to hear. Marketing and sports psychology, the major at Wilkes.
Yes, so those are my favorite classes. I'm actually a dual major in marketing and communication studies at Wilkes. But sports psych, I honestly might try to take a master's in it just because I love it so much.
I think one of your teammates is involved in psychology and would like to get into sports psychology. So very interesting that a couple of you ladies want to go that direction. And the life after Wilkes University could take you into a couple different directions. Talk about what you're playing around with up there.
Yeah, so actually Coach Sumoski hooked me up with a really nice internship over the summer with United Sports Academy. So I was able to do international branding and international marketing for a travel company called United Soccer Academies and United Lacrosse Academies. So I was really grateful to have an international marketing experience because it combined my love of soccer and travel. So it was absolutely incredible. I was able to go to England, play a little bit of soccer, from England and Florida, and it was definitely a wonderful experience.
Let's talk about the folks and them inspiring you and showing you a little bit about hard work.
My family's awesome. It is an incredible unit, extremely supportive since day one. Not only driving me in the classroom, but they try to make it, they're 2.5 hours away, they try to make it to as many games as possible, which, we have my brother, my older brother who plays rugby in law school, we have my sister who's playing soccer, and we have my younger brother who plays travel baseball. So everything they do to support each and every one of us is really, really admirable, and I hope to provide the same support to my family in the future.
Catch much sleep in college? Because you're doing everything.
I am doing everything, but we do have recovery logs, so I have to log those at least 4 to 6 hours of sleep each night, so I'm adequate to practice and play.
Oh, well, you have a really nice personality. It's great to hear your story, Ashleen, and we wish you the best going forward in whatever you decide to do.
Thank you so much.